Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Becky Harris joins us, former head of the Gaming Control Board. She's now running for the Clark County Commission. Here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity in every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're absolutely delighted to welcome to the program for the first time Becky Harris. She is a candidate for the Clark County Commission District F. It is a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks, Sam. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, let's start out with a little background. First of all, you've got every kind of law degree possible, including a master's from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and also an adjunct in gaming law and regulation. You were the first ever chairwoman of the Gaming Control Board, which you have kind of put off to the side, but a lot of us think that that's pretty impressive. And like Ronald Reagan, you started out as a Democrat, became a Republican, and yet you're running as a nonpartisan. Let's start there. Why nonpartisan this time?
You know, as the political world has unfolded since my time in the Senate, you just got to a place where I realized that neither party really represents what I'm about. And I truly am politically a nonpartisan. And so rather than aligning with a major party, I want to have the freedom to be able to represent my district without the pressures and the predisposed political platforms that those parties hold. I really did have a reputation when I was in the Nevada Senate as being able to find consensus across the aisle. I would align with the other party on some key policymaking decisions that I felt were best for the residents of the state of Nevada, because I've always been about policy and not about party. And this move to nonpartisan really does allow me to have a fuller expression of my philosophies. When I was an elected Republican, I made a conscious decision to represent all of my residents, all of my voters, regardless of political party, persuasion, disposition, and really made sure that I was a collective representative of my district. I think I did a really good job about that. And one of the things that I did do to effectuate that was I dedicated a third of my Senate bills to specific district issues. So a member of the community would come to me and say, I've got a problem. I would run a bill to help fix that problem.
Um, April Becker made a big difference on the commission by being a Republican elected to what had been an all-Democratic commission. So you feel at this point that the time is right for a nonpartisan to be elected?
I do. I think that you get to your best policy when you've got a diversity of thought. And I think having nonpartisan representation is really critical. The city council is nonpartisan. Clark County Commission generally runs as a nonpartisan body and should be a nonpartisan body to be able to give voice and visibility to the voters of Clark County who don't choose to identify with a specific party is, I think, really affirming and very important for them to have a voice in the process.
And, as we've seen since the DMV started doing the registrations, that the nonpartisan side has gone up dramatically. This also gets you the general election without having to go through a primary. The biggest question, of course, on that side is fundraising. These races are $1 million races. At this point, do you have the backing to raise that kind of money?
I do. And it's really interesting as I've made fundraising phone calls and reached out to voters with a couple of very rare exceptions, there has been an overwhelming openness to the fact that I'm nonpartisan. People are excited. I was at a community event the other night talking with voters, explaining that, I'm nonpartisan, and they were like, that's great. You have my vote. And when I call and make fundraising phone calls, the consensus from establishment donors really is the Clark County Commission really should be a nonpartisan body, and there's no issue with the fact that you're nonpartisan. We're going to support you.
Not making this a party alignment, but just a personal alignment, you are a fiscal conservative, and local governments, county and city, are all facing dramatic financial woes in the coming years. What are your thoughts about that and how to deal with it for Clark County?
I think it's really important to be responsible with the money. While I was chair of the Nevada Gaming Control Board, I managed a $45 million budget. I know Clark County's budget is much more significant than that, but we do have experience both at the legislative level in terms of providing funding to different entities throughout the state, but also from the Gaming Control Board in terms of managing staff and managing a budget and looking at how to judiciously spend those precious tax dollars. I think it's important to keep in mind that those dollars come from citizens of Clark County, from hardworking families that are helping to support the community to make sure that we've got the essential amenities like roads and drainage and police protection, firefighters, and all of the things that go into making a safe society. It is the voters and the residents of the district that are paying for those amenities and are responsible for those dollars. And it's important to keep that in mind as budget decisions are being made.
One of the things, of course, that always comes up is two of the most expensive categories for any local government is fire and police. You're not anticipating any cuts to those kind of things, are you?
No, in fact, we need to make sure that we've got safe neighborhoods and quick response times here in District F. We were hardest hit in 2008 with the housing meltdown, hardest hit again. We lack some basic infrastructure, in addition to the fact that we have a lot of rural representation as well as the urban representation in Clark County. So we need to work on having smart staffing levels in law enforcement, as well as in our fire and EMS. We need to look at ways that we can leverage technology like real-time dispatch and predictive analytics. And then one of the big issues in the urban area of my proposed district is ensuring that the infrastructure keeps up so that first responders aren't slowed by congested roads or poorly planned developments, because that ultimately increases the costs there as well. And we are battling some issues right now with proposed development and very limited access and roads that aren't fully developed and parking issues and all of those things. So I think we need to be engaged in smart planning. We need to be thoughtful about how we develop. We need to be smart because development has to happen. That's how we grow our economy. And the reality of it is that Clark County is growing and it's not going to stop. So now we need to figure out by working with developers and other stakeholders, how do we manage that growth in productive ways that don't negatively impact the residents that live there.
In looking at the maps of District F, you go all the way down to Ivanpah, correct? Down the 15?
We go to state line. I've got the map
Yeah.
right here. Yeah.
So for a lot of legislators that are, or not legislators, but commissioners, they'll be termed out by the time Ivanpah is way underway with the development process. And in my opinion, and we've talked about this for several years on the program, Ivanpah, the airport there, is going to be the biggest economic development project in the history of the state of Nevada by a multitude. I mean, way bigger than the Hoover Dam. 6,000 acres for the airport itself, 17,000 acres for development around there. Tick Segelblum, who would end up being one of your colleagues if he's reelected, has concerns about the development going down the 15. What are your thoughts about the potential? Because I look at it and go, boy, I've been to Changi in Singapore, and what an unbelievable airport that is. That's what we should have for Las Vegas. What are your thoughts about that pattern of growth going down the 15 and developing around what is essentially another, 23,000 acres?
So we are a world-class, iconic destination location. And that is who we are, and that is how we hold ourselves out to the world. And because of that, we have a lot of people that want to come and have a Las Vegas experience. And as long as we're going to promote ourselves, we've got to be prepared for the growth that comes with it. And clearly, the necessity for another airport is one of those critical pieces of growth. And you've outlined some of the challenges with the development along the 15. I think as long as we are smart in how we manage that, we are going to also bring in great jobs with good wages. We're going to increase our economic opportunity here in Clark County. We're going to improve things for our workforce and have those multiplier effect dollars in our economy. I think there's a way to do it smart, and I think there's a way to do it that helps us grow and become an even better destination location city than we already are.
We had MJ Maynard from RTC on the program about a year ago now, and I was talking to her about the ideas of transportation between Ivanpah and Las Vegas, because it's about a 30-minute drive at this point. And I asked her about roads or light rail, and her answer was, there's no money for it at this point. Where do you get the money? Because if you're going to build an airport that far out, you're going to have the transportation coming in. And if the inflation-adjusted gas prices don't compensate for a major project like that, what do you do?
I think we're going to have to really dig deep and look at what our transportation options are, could be, and should be. We are one of the major metropolitan areas that doesn't have a coordinated public transportation system. And, since I've lived here for decades, that's been the talk, but we haven't been willing to sit down and find smart solutions and figure out what the pathways to paying for that will be. I think that those are important conversations that we need to have. If there were ready and easy answers, we'd already know what they are. So we're going to have to work with developers. We're going to have to look at what kind of economic development comes with building that airport, and we're going to have to look for ways in which we can find the solutions that we're looking for. And I think a lot of times this growth doesn't evolve the way that we think it will be. In other metropolitan areas where they've got regional airports, you've got these bubbles of regional development and new communities that spring up to support that. And so it will be interesting to see as we begin to plan for that and think about what that means for Clark County in general, how we're going to transform.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back much more with Becky Harris. She's candidate for the Clark County Commission District F, running as a nonpartisan after this time out.
This holiday season, say aloha to winning big with the Carson Valley Inn's $250,000 Hawaiian holiday giveaways. Unwrap the fun with $500 Southwest gift cards and mini vacations every Saturday. And $60 grand in grand prize Hawaiian vacations or cash. The islands are calling, only at the Carson Valley Inn.
You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes hope means fearless trial attorneys will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Becky Harris. She's a candidate for the Clark County Commission District F, running as a nonpartisan. Formula One just ended, and right now we're in the middle of the NFR National Finals Rodeo. Your thoughts on Formula One and its first 3 years of birth?
Well, there's always going to be some growing pains, right? But I think that Formula One represents a big opportunity. And I think it's more than just luxury tourism and entertainment. We also get global media visibility, and it's an opportunity for our local businesses to grow. So I think for District F and Clark County in general, there's a benefit in attracting international visitors and strengthening our hospitality and technology sectors. Coincidentally, we also get to revitalize parts of our community. At the same time, I know that our residents don't really want to feel ignored, right? I teach a law class at UNLV. I was down there teaching my law class during F1 when the roads were closed and traffic was crazy. And so I feel the pains of the traffic and the noise, the parking and the disruption. I think those are all legitimate concerns. As a commissioner, I would work to make sure that event permits include mitigation plans, enhanced traffic management, community input, preferential parking for residents, some sound barriers and curfew options and other things could be other considerations. And most importantly, that our residents share in the economic benefit. I know that small businesses the first couple of years really sacrificed and felt the brunt of F1 as the county was working very hard to figure out how to meet the needs of all the stakeholders. And so we want to make sure that the jobs are there, that vendor opportunities are there, that our local businesses are absolutely part of this equation. So I would want to look at how we get long-term community gain from not just F1, but other major events that are going to occur in Clark County and Las Vegas. It needs to be long-term community gain, not just a one-off event or a one-week type spectacle. We need to really be looking at how we benefit the residents and the people that live here.
I think the last year has really shown that Formula One is committed to Las Vegas now and to the people of Las Vegas. And I think also the other properties outside of the circuit finally figured out that it needs to be like NFR, where anywhere you go in Las Vegas, or on the Strip, there are cowboy hats, whether they're going to Thomas and Mack or not. And that wasn't what occurred the first year of Formula One. Derek Stevens got it launched in downtown by the second year. But I think that a lot of the problems are going to go away as the community itself absorbs Formula One, and Formula One continues to make more inroads into the community, which they've done a great job of over the last year.
Right. And just look at the Golden Knights and how loved and revered they are, right? The community stood up to embrace them, were loyal and invested. And I think that we can feel that way about other events, and we're starting to feel that way about F1. I would happen to be down on the Strip just after F1, seeing everybody in their baseball caps and their jackets and their F1 gear. So I agree with you that I think we're starting to see community buy-in.
Yeah, I watched the final race, the Saturday night race on ESPN. And the thing that amazed me most, beyond the driving and the cars, which are, of course, sensational, but the fact that they could change tires in under 4 seconds was just like, wow. Let's take a break. That wasn't where we were going with this conversation, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org. A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Becky Harris. She's a candidate for Clark County Commission in District F, running as a nonpartisan. If you'd like to know more about Becky Harris, just Google her. There is so much information on there. It will blow you away. Diversification. It's such an interesting topic in Clark County because the gaming industry and all its affiliations are so dominant that any diversification is going to be much smaller by comparison. But with what Catherine Cortez Masto has been able to do with her bill to open up more speed at the Apex Business Park, it really looks like diversification is going in the right direction. What are your thoughts on that, and what should be done for Clark County?
I love anything that's going to drive better employment for the residents of Clark County. And I think that as we begin to attract industries beyond the hospitality industry, like green tech, data centers, financial services, and transportation services, we're going to bring good jobs. We're going to bring in high-paying jobs, and we're going to bring in the type of businesses that are going to help us get Clark County to the next level. When I was in the legislature, we were beginning to really see the blossoming of that diversity of industry in Clark County. And now as you go along the 215, you see the tech corridor that's there. And so the gaming manufacturers are there, but there are other technology companies. You've got T-Mobile that's just come in with a big tech and data center right there at the Harry Reid Technology Park at Durango and 215. You've got some financial services companies that are coming in and expanding in the area. And I think that that's important as we continue to grow our economy and become more professionalized in Clark County.
You know, it's funny. I don't know if you remember, but when Citibank first came into Las Vegas years ago, probably 30 years ago now, they were so concerned about Las Vegas that the place that they landed, they called the Lakes. They wouldn't actually call it Las Vegas. I don't think any company coming to Las Vegas today would want to change the name of where they're arriving.
No, I would think you would want that ROI from the already well-established name of Las Vegas and all the wonderful things that brings with it. I think anybody that chooses to spend any significant time in the surrounding neighborhoods and the supporting areas of the actual city of Las Vegas will be impressed and see that we are a wonderfully warm community with families that have children that go to our local schools and grow up, go to college, become successful, whether it's with a 4-year degree or through a training program or an apprenticeship, or the variety of different opportunities that we offer in terms of vocational centers and opportunities for our workforce here in Clark County.
And that's where we have to leave it for now. I would love to have debates for District F on this program. If you guys are willing, we will come down and do them right there in Las Vegas. And I wish you the best of luck with your campaign. And I'm sure we will see you back here on this program before Election Day.
Thanks, Sam. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
It's the most wonderful time to win during the $125,000 Holiday Cash Frenzy at Tamarack Casino. Every Saturday, unwrap thousands in cash and free play. Don't miss the grand finale December 27th. We're gifting $20,000 in cash guaranteed. 'Tis the season for good times at Tamarack Casino.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Check out our archives section on NevadaNewsmakers.com. Great interviews going back as far as 2002. Really worth watching. We'll see you on the next broadcast.